Good day, everyone. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. It's 2 p.m. Eastern Time here in Orlando, Florida. Let me know if you're joining in. I'm Claudette with MsPuff Creative Corner, and we're going to get started here in a minute. So as you're coming in, let me know who's here. And if you could hear me okay and see me okay. And I'm hoping I don't pick up much background noise today. I have my doggies home. And I don't have my canceling mic working. I have my lapel mic on my shirt. So hopefully it's not too much noise. So today, guys, I'm going to be creating a window card, and I have two other variations that I did that I'm going to show you at the end. I'm also going to be doing a giveaway, so if you're interested in that, I'm going to be mentioning that in the end. Again, welcome everyone. My name is Claudette with MsPuff Creative Corner. So we'll be creating this card right here, and as you open it here, you have that in the inside. All right, so this is a style that's been around. Many of you have probably seen it. I got inspirations from Lorraine. I think it's stamped with Lorraine. Jennifer, what's Jennifer's last name? Forget her last name. And Connie. So it's so many people on YouTube that you could get inspirations from. Jennifer McGuire. Yeah. So go ahead and check out their channel. So let's go ahead and get started. So now for your base of your card, I'm going to be using white cardstock, and this is measuring 8.5. I scored it at 4 1/4, and this section here is 5.5. All right, so that's the base of our card. Now we're going to need a top layer, and I am going to use printed paper, or Stampin' Up! Calls this designer series paper. And don't you love those colors? It's just saying spring. And that is from the collection of the Tea Bouquet. And let me show you that these are 6x6 designer series paper. And they have just gorgeous colors and print in there. So this piece of layer right here, this is measuring 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and that is in inches. Okay, so what we're going to do is, some people do some tacky glue on there to temporarily stick it down when they're using the punch. We're going to come in with this is a label punch, and it's called Label Me Lovely, and this is by Stampin' Up! You could also use your dies too as well. So I'm going to have it going in the portrait direction. And I think that's easier for like the punch, you know, you could get it more centered there. So we're going to come down and do it like that, versus let's see how far up this would go. It's not really high up enough for me, for my taste. So what we're going to do is, what I did when I did the first sample, I went ahead and glued the whole thing down, but I am going to just center it here and then hold it. Then I'm going to punch, and I'm going to show you why I did that here. So you're just going to eyeball it. Let me see how far down I went. You're going to eyeball it to center it, and it depends on how much you want up to the top. And then I am just going to punch that out. And now why some people just use the tacky is that now when they do it, instead of gluing it down one time, you have two individual pieces. All right, I'm just going to use the white backing, so I just kept them down together. So it's nice to have the individual pieces. If you make a mistake on one side, you have the other side too as well. Or you could use this for another card too as well. So now that we have that piece down, what I'm going to do is go ahead and get my liquid glue, and I am going to go ahead and glue this down. I just wanted to demonstrate that to you guys. So I am going to go ahead and put some liquid glue to the back of this. I'm just going to bring in my silicone mat so I don't make a mess on this. And let's see if I could line this up without getting my head in the camera. And then it's so much easier to just glue it down and punch one time. You don't have to, well, and it's easier when you're offline too as well. All right, let's see if we're back on, if you guys are there. Sorry about that. Is when you have to deal with technology is the problem. All right, so let's continue here. So we already got our designer series paper here on there, and then we went ahead and used our punch, and we punched that out. We got the two pieces here. Sorry about the noise in the background. So what we're going to do where we left off is that we're going to stamp our sentiment. You're absolutely amazing. And let me make sure I have that in the correct orientation. And we're going to try to go ahead and hit that in the middle. And like I didn't glue these two on, so I have another side to stamp this on if it messes up. Okay, and that came out pretty good. Next, what I'm going to do all right, I'm just checking here to make sure I'm back on and everything is okay, because I'm not getting any comments to see if we're back on here. All right, so next what I'm going to do is come in and we're going to use my blending brush, and I'm going to use the yellow on this, and this is yellow. This yellow ink is by Stampin' Up. It's called So Saffron. So we're going to go ahead and ink that up. I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of paper. And I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. Start off on the scrap and come on in. And you're going to do this until you get the tone that you would like. So I want a little bit more white in the middle of it and then darker yellow around the edges. Just had to get those dogs settled. Sorry about the noise. All right, so I like how that's looking. You could hear me okay? I just have my husband here on the side and I'm asking if he could hear me okay if I'm back there online. All right. All right, so next what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in and join these two back together just to give a little of dimension to it. So what I'm going to do is add my liquid glue here to the back. And then glue that down. Okay, so next what we're going to do, we're going to come in. Let me get this glue out of the way. You still could hear good? All right. All right, it looks like we're coming over okay on YouTube and plus on Facebook. It looks like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and glue this down here on the inside. Okay, so we're going to add some glue to this, then glue it down like that. So you're in that right spot, okay? So I'm just going to come in here, try to fit that in like a puzzle. Let's do this side here. And then press that down. So, and then in the inside in this, let me show you the stamp set that I use for that. I use a color contour stamp set for this, where I stamp out this floral image. If you don't like to color, you don't have to color that. You just have this solid piece that add color to it. And it also has a coordinating dies, and that is called scallop contour dies. And I just love this die set, especially these rectangular pieces here. So on the inside with this one, what I did is I stamped these blotches here and I add a little flower right down here in the corner. So you could decorate the inside as you would like. But I got also, you could use your leftover designer series paper. So I'm going to go ahead and since I had this piece left over, I'm going to go ahead and add that down here to the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and add this right down here to the bottom. I'm going to leave it that way. So that's how we have this. So we're just going to go ahead and decorate the front of our card. And so this is a little busy. So what I took is some white paper, and this is 1 inch by 4 1/8. And then I went ahead and run that through an embossing machine, add a little texture to it. And I use, I run it through the embossing folder. And the embossing folder that I use is called Tasteful Textile. And this is retired, but this is one of my favorite embossing folder that Stampin' Up! Had. So we're going to go ahead and glue that down here, and you see how it breaks up that pattern, and the yellow pulls the yellow from out of this designer series paper. So we're going to go ahead and add some glue to the back of this. Just want to look at my sample here. All right, so we're going to add this down just across here along the edges. Then next, what I'm going to do is bring in my flower. I already stamped that and cut it out just to save some time. And we're going to go ahead and put some glue to the back of this and place that down. Okay, so I'm just going to place it right here, and it could lap over here if you choose. The white may show a little bit in the back, but I'm just going to bring it here a little bit to the right so it don't lap over that much, because I'm going to add another flower to the top with some dimension. And then you just want to be careful you don't get any glue on the edges here that it'll stick your card down and you can't open it. So what I did is I did another one and I add some dimension to the back of it. So I'm going to add that to the top, but I'm going to do a little surgery on that. Where's my scissors? And I'm just going to cut the stem off here. And I'm just going to add this to the top. It has dimension to the back of it, just to give that a little lift. I hope you guys are liking what you're seeing so far. You're awfully quiet. If anyone is out there, leave me a comment down below. I love reading your comments. So I used the smaller dimensions and the larger one and Stampin' Up! Have those both. So the smaller ones are quite neat, whereas you don't have to cut the larger ones down. So I'm just going to line this up here just to give a little dimension there to that. So you have a little dimension, if you could see there from on the side. It pops up there a little bit. So next what we're going to do is add some ribbon to this. So I already have my bow made up, and I'm just going to cut that tail off and add a glue dot to the back. I'm just going to cut it on an angle, and then we're going to get our glue dot and roll it up to the back of that knot. Pop that off, and then we'll add that right here. And you see that yellow is, we're just plain on the yellow in this. And then we have some enamel dots that I'm going to use. And this is matte decorative dots. And I am going to add that lime green. Isn't that a beautiful color? All right, so I am going to add a smaller dot. I like that they have these two different sizes. A small dot, and then let's do a larger one there. Pretty much that's the card. It's so simple. I love that it's beautiful. It's bright and cherry for spring. I think this would brighten up anybody's day. All right, and you could stamp your little stamp to the back if you choose to. And then this is the one that I made prior. Okay, so what you guys think? So let's bring in now the other ones that I created and show you how those look. Alrighty. So on this one here, so you could use whatever punch a die you have. I use a circle punch. And I use a top layer on here. You don't have to put the top layer. And I use an embossing folder. And you see those leaves. These are, this embossing folder is called Layered Leaves. And that's retired too by Stampin' Up. But it's a 3D embossing folder. Look at the detail on those leaves if you could see it. So I add some ribbon here on that first layer and made that, tie it down and then glue it down. Some people run the ribbon through the first, they just do one base card and then run the ribbon to in the inner piece here and out here. I don't really like to see that. I prefer the ribbon to be hidden when you open up your card. So now with this, I stamp a sentiment that say hello beautiful. So I just made sure my sentiment was able to fit in here, and I went ahead and stamped right to that circle on there. So I punched out the circle and then hit that there, hello beautiful. So you could do it that way. Now with your circles, let me see if I find my thing here. And I am going to demonstrate here, like with this circle, right? Say for instance, you have this circle that came out. We're gonna get Parakeet Party, and we're gonna get another blending brush. Let's see, here we go. All right, so we're gonna get this and we're going to bring that down to halfway mark. Hold that down and we're just going to blend some of this beautiful green on there. And then we're just blending half of that circle. You know, I'm just eyeballing half and I'm holding it down. All right, so next what I'm going to do is bring in the same sentiment that I used and some of the Memento black ink. And when you're using your photo palmer stamps, it's always good to bring your mat down so you could give get a good imprint. So let's see here, we'll ink that up in black. Then we're gonna go ahead and make sure you have it in the right direction and stamp. You're absolutely amazing. Look how that black looks on that green. Isn't that pretty? And then so you could use your circle that way. You could also put dimensions to the back of that. And that's pretty much how it's going to look. So you add your little dimensionals to the back of that just to pop that up a little bit if you choose. And that's another way, to design this, okay? So what you guys think? The first one we use designer series paper. This one we embossed the top layer with our embossing folder. Now on this other one that I'm going to show you, if you have nesting dies, you could use and do this. So I use this set right here, and it says, I think it was called Stitch Be Mine. This is retired by Stampin' Up. I just use all my dies and stuff that I like, whether they're retired or not. And so if you have some nesting dies or layering dies that would give you that little edge cut out, I use a crumb cake, these paper cardstock, which is by Stampin' Up, this color. And I use a background stamp to get those lines on there. Okay, so this pattern play, I use the stripes right here, and I use the ink in crumb cake, and I use my stamp apparatus to get my lines going. I cut out the white edging and glue that down. I add just for you, so in black, and that's nice with the crumb cake. And then in the inside, I'm not too much for flowers, but this one here, I didn't initially like this, but it's really nice. And especially if you color it yourself with your alcohol marker. So this is called Beautifully Happy. And I use the flowers from that, and they have the solid pieces. If you don't like to color, you could just ink that up. You could use your ink pad, you could use your markers, so you could color those individually. And then what I did is I went ahead and stamped that, colored it with my alcohol markers, put a little sentiment here to the bottom, and I really like how this one came out. So again, this was just your cardstock, and I stamped the line on it. And so you have that variation in how you could create your window cards. What you guys think? Beautiful spring colors would brighten up anyone's day. Alrighty. So now let's talk about the giveaway. Well, thank you, Warren. That's my husband there, just chiming in there, making sure everything is working. So let's see with the giveaway here. Look at these cute little bunnies. I just want to show you these cute little bunnies that I created. What you guys think? You know, I watched this channel, Jill Norwoods, and she just have some amazing craft stuff, and she got me turned on to this sock bunny. And I did order that on a wooden block, this sock bunny here, and it was by Impression Obsession. And they had, let me see, where's the one here? So this is my giveaway right here. They had initially sent me one, but they had like this marking and stuff on there. So they sent me a second one. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one away. It's brand new. If you're interested in doing that, this is what you're going to have to do to enter to win this. So you have to be 18 years or older. You have to be within the US. Okay. And what you're going to do is, after this live video is done, I'm going to put all the instruction in the description box as well in the community section. Is that you're going to send me some happy mail, and that mail is going to consist of a card, and an embellished card or a layer card. It could be a fun fold card, not just a simple card, but I just want a card with a couple layers on there, embellishments. It could be a fun fold card. Just send me a wow card. And also, if you have a YouTube channel too, I'll give your YouTube channel a shout out. So the entry, you're going to start from today, and it's going to be ending. The last time to enter would be, so let's see, your postmark have to be to me no later than April. Let's see. I didn't, let me just pull up a calendar here, because that is by mail, and this is my first time doing this one. So we're going to say postmark on April 20th. So the latest you could be postmark is April 20th. Okay. Postmark no later than April 20th. And then I am going to do the drawing on April. We're going to do the drawing on April 27th. All right. So no later, the postmark have to be by April 20th. And I am going to do the drawing on April 27th. So that would give you guys some time to get the mail in. So April 20th, postmark. And then the drawing would be April 27th. All right, and then that would be a random winner. I'm going to select, and then you guys would have 72 hours to respond to say you got the notice that you have won. And then if not, it'll go to the next person. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. It was a little rough start there with the app going down, but thank you guys for sticking in with me. And this is Claudette. I'll catch you guys on my next video.